to do what we asked them to do. I think it's been really good the last couple of games, especially first half of LaSalle was almost a masterpiece in terms of just being locked in and playing as hard as possible.
With Darius Quisenberry out, you've needed people to step up in scoring, but also relied on Antrell Charlton to handle the basketball. What have you seen from him putting together a career-high 10 assists against LaSalle?
He's been a great passer for the entire year. I would argue that he could have easily had 10 assists other games if for some made shots. So we put the ball in his hands a lot throughout the season, and he's getting the fruits of his labor.
You take on a Davidson team that has won 22 of 24 atop the Atlantic 10. What kind of challenge is it to attack a team that has so many different ways to hurt you?
Yeah, they're extremely disciplined, and they just find ways to win. You go watch games, and they cannot make shots. They could make shots. They could outscore you. They can stop you. They're extremely experienced bunch, extremely well coached. So, and they've been doing it this way for a long time. So you're not playing just this team. You're playing a team, really a program who has an extraordinary culture. So, definitely going to be a challenge for us, but I think our guys are for it.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Fordham winners of 3 of their last 4 and 500 in the last week of February for the first time since 2016. Fordham's playing some of its best basketball of the season, and as mentioned, it's the defense carrying the load. The Rams are up to 54th nationally in defensive efficiency, holding opponents to just 55 points a game over their last 4. They held Davidson in check in the first meeting between these two teams, but Fordham will need another lockdown performance if they want to take down the A-10's top team.
You have to give this coaching staff, Nick, a ton of credit, because all season long it's been the defense is going to lead us. You've seen during this stretch of the last 4 or so games, they're playing their best basketball on that end of the court. What they do, they're going to make you uncomfortable, regardless of who you are, how good you are. You saw it when Davidson came to town. They were, after that win, Davidson was ranked 25th. So this was a legit team. We've talked about, they have March aspirations. Fordham made them very uncomfortable. They were able to sneak away with a win, and you imagine Fordham's bringing that same defensive energy here tonight.
The Rams were lifted by a season-high 36 from Darius Quisenberry back on January the 22nd. Fordham's top scorer once again out due to injury, but Fordham will throw Chuba Ohams at Davidson for the first time. He missed the first matchup due to injury, but he'll be a major factor in round 2.
The defensive, intensity and just presence that he brings in the paint, it's going to be huge. You saw Brajkovic for Davidson, the leading scorer for them in that one with 21 points. When Davidson was struggling from 3, what did they do? They just took it inside. They were pounding it on Fordham's backup. Big man Abdou Simbila also got into foul trouble. So to have him kind of emerge as of late, to have a healthy Chuba Ohams, huge for Fordham to try to win the battle of the paint.
Ohams averaging 17 and 13 over his last 4 games. He's got 4 straight double-doubles to bring the total to 16 on the season. That's 7th most in the entire country. Davidson returns to their home court atop the Atlantic 10, 23-4, 13-2 in conference play in the midst of their best start to a season under head coach Bob McKillop, and he's had a lot of seasons here at Davidson. This team, one of the most efficient in the entire country, 10th nationally in field goal percentage, 5th in three-point shooting, and 16th in assist to turnover ratio. Lots of weaponry for the Wildcats. 4 players in the A-10's top 25 in scoring, with one of the top backcourts in the conference. And while Fordham did a good job containing them in the first matchup, A-10 Player of the Year candidate Young-Jun Lee is heating up.
The dichotomy between these two offenses is going to be huge, because we've talked about Davidson being top 10 in the country. Well, Fordham's, they're 14th in the conference in three-point percentage. So it's going to be important not to match them when it comes to that. We talked about Young-Jun Lee. They did a great job just pressuring him, taking him out of the game. And in this one, you have to stay with it and keep him from lighting you up.
Lee averaging 25 points a game over his last 3, was held to a season-low 5 points last time around against Fordham. Fellow guard Foster Lawyer joins Lee in the conference's top 10 in scoring. He will not play this afternoon, at least not in the starting lineup. That's a big hole to fill for Davidson in their attack. They've shifted their attention down low. Luka Brajkovic is in the conference's top 10 in field goal percentage and rebounding. He burned Fordham for 21 last time around.
And we talked about what he did inside when Fordham, really took away the three. Foster Loyer, a huge piece, and I think that is something we're going to be talking about as a theme tonight, because this is a 44%, three-point shooter. This is a guy who averages 16 plus a game, so to not have to, put attention on him, huge. That allows you to kind of play more down low and stop Brajkovic in the paint.
Fordham has consistently tried to key on opponents' top scoring options. That could mean a bigger role for Sam Meninga and Brajkovic this afternoon. For Fordham, the road maroon tops and bottoms to script Fordham across the chest in white on top of the white numbers. The white trim on the shoulders and double stripe on the shorts. And for Davidson, the home white tops and bottoms, the block Davidson in black with red outline on top of black numbers. The red trim across the collar and the Davidson D at the left hip on the home white uniforms. Hyunjun Lee, Michael Jones, Sam Meninga, Luka Brajkovic, and Grant Huffman, the five to take the floor for Davidson. Of course, once again with Foster Loyer out of the lineup due to injury. That a big loss for the Wildcats this afternoon. Fordham with their same starting five, Oham, Simbila, Rose, Colon, Navarro, and Charlton to kick things off this afternoon. Fordham looking for a signature win. Davidson trying to keep that hold atop the Atlantic 10. The tip one into the backcourt. Onto the floor, the dive by Huffman. His pass bounces to the near sideline, out through the boundary, off of the foot of Huffman. And Fordham has the game's opening possession 7 seconds in after some scrambling.
Early burst of energy there for Fordham. Josh Colon Navarro getting on the floor. That's part of the reason this team's been so successful as of late. His play and his emergence as a scorer has been huge for this offense.
Fordham going to need some scoring this afternoon, matching up with Davidson, second in the A-10 in points a game, just over 75. Fordham has struggled, 58 points a game over their last five. It's been the defense that has won the day to 3 out of their last 4. Left arc three, Colon Navarro is good. Right off the jump, Josh Colon Navarro drills the three, has 15 plus in 3 of 4, and Fordham a 3-0 lead, 30 seconds in.
And Colon Navarro had 8 last time out versus Davidson, but this is a different player than they saw. His emergence, his confidence as his role has grown, he's really blossomed into a nice piece.
Right arc Meninga, who's averaging 7 and 5, is right arc three, front rim and off. Oham's the right block rebound. Fordham pushing. Rose to the right arc, the left-handed dribble. Charlton attacks, A-10 stamp, dump off, left block Oham's, back to the basket, working on Brajkovic. His righty sky hook, front rim and off, and it's Hyunjun Lee clearing for the center of the paint rebound. Lee, a top 5 scorer in the Atlantic 10, 17 points a game. Straight on Meninga. The left elbow possession, far corner kick out, right arc three. Brajkovic, who's called for a travel. Fordham rotating over, and Brajkovic, top 10 in the A-10 in field goal percentage and rebounding, turned it over.
And Fordham, they're coming out in the same defense last time versus Davidson. They're going to run a man zone, and they're going to lay off the 2 non-shooters, Meninga, and in this case, Huffman. They're going to put more pressure inside, and you've seen early on, Meninga, he's had chances. He's been open to the top of the key twice. He airballed the first shot. That time, passed it up. This defense worked a ton last time. We'll see if it has the same effect here today.
Left arc, Rome Charlton, over the head pass, Oham's, the float right block, Simbila, his lefty jump hook, rolls off. Right block rebound for Meninga and Davidson. Approaching 2 minutes in first half, Fordham the early 3-0 advantage. Head of the key with room, Meninga looking to make a pass. Right arc Brajkovic does have that room. Right elbow backing down Meninga, working on the defense from Simbila. Lefty jump hook rattles in. Sam Meninga, the redshirt sophomore from New Zealand, had a conference play best, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Last time around with Fordham on January 22nd. 3-2 Rams, just over 2 minutes in first half. Left arc, Colon Navarro, the three. In and out, right block rebound for Grant Huffman. That a rush shot for Colon Navarro through traffic. Left elbow, Grant Huffman averaging 4 and 2 into the starting role, bowling over Cologne Navarro, and an offensive foul. Bob McKillop, irate in front of that Davidson bench, could not believe that Huffman picks up his first foul, the first for Davidson, as he sent Josh Cologne Navarro falling to the floor. And Davidson seems so good at limiting turnovers. First in the A10 in assist-to-turnover ratio. Has turned it over 3 times early. Straightaway Kyle Rose, between the legs dribble, left arc Rome Charlton, screen left Ohams. The pass left block, juggled and taken. Ohams backing down with 8 to shoot. Looking to clear out room and ruled for a travel in the center of the paint. Fordham 3, Davidson 2, approaching 3 minutes in first half. With the first whistle, sending Grant Huffman to the bench for Davidson. As Emery Lanier, the sophomore, comes in, handles the basketball in the backcourt. Davidson, offensively, has been so good this season. Top 10 in the entire country in offensive efficiency. Left arc Meninga, A10 stamp right of the lane. The bounce left block, Brajkovic going up, knocked away. Loose ball near side with 7 to shoot. Right baseline floater. Lee gets it to fall, plus the foul. Davidson looking for a call. Youngjun Lee on the follow was held to just 5 points in the January 22nd meeting with Fordham. Lee that time the loose ball, the righty runner through the contact.
And Lee, he'll take shots from anywhere, and I think that works for the game plan because Fordham, as we talked about, they'll swarm the three-point line. So the second that he has even an inch of separation inside, he's going to take it, making that one and getting the foul to go his way.
Team leader in threes made. He's been on fire recently. 25 points a game over his last 3, shooting 60% in that span. Had not scored 20-plus since mid-December, but on a roll recently. Hits the free throw. Davidson in front, 5-3, approaching 4 minutes in to the first half. Left arc, Cologne Navarro, shut off on the defense by Jones. Right arc with Nowitzki, who's checked in. Charlton, the waist-high possession. Right arc, Rose, jab step, between the legs dribble. A10 stamp spin, dump off for Nowitzki with 5 to shoot. Charlton's right arc 3, too strong. The rebound batted left baseline out toward the Davidson bench. Last touch by Ohams. And Davidson will take possession.
And this Davidson defense, very impressed what I've seen thus far, making Fordham really uncomfortable taking shots they otherwise wouldn't take. I like how they've came out early versus the Rams.
Davidson 4th in the A10 in points allowed. Opponents averaging 66 points a game. 187th in defensive rating in the entire country. Straightaway Emery Rainier, left arc 3, right rim off, baseline rebound, ripped away by Meninga. Second possession, Davidson, righty runner, falls for Lanier. The board so crucial to pay attention to. Davidson gets after it on the glass so far this season. Fordham has been good in limiting those opportunities. Davidson the extra possession on top by 4, 7-3. Approaching 4.5 minutes into the first half. Cologne Navarro, righty stop, the runner, left short, right rim and off. Brajkovic, the underneath the basket rebound. Davidson in transition, left arc 3, Jones, bubbles in. Michael Jones, the redshirt junior, gets the home roll, and Davidson has 10 straight points in his first half. Approaching 5 minutes in, 10-3 Wildcats. Charlton, A10 stamp stop. Back to the basket, Kelly right arc, closed off, Nowitzki right of the lane with defense from Jones. Straight away Charlton with 12 to shoot. Stop at the left elbow, straight away for Josh Cologne Navarro with 7 on the shot clock and 6 with 5 between the legs dribble, right arc 3. Right rim and off, Charlton battling for the far corner rebound. It's tipped into the waiting arms of Meninga. Near corner clear out, Emily Neer thought about the 3. The float left arc. Straight on 3, Lanier rolls off. Center of the paint rebound taken by Fordham. Nowitzki tangled up with Meninga right of the lane. He'll draw a foul. And Davidson will get yet another possession on the other side of our first timeout. It's a 10-0 Davidson run after Fordham had the first bucket. The Rams haven't scored in 5 minutes. 14:38 on the first half clock. Davidson 10, Fordham 3. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Michael Calamari, here with Andrew Galati, your main host for the all-new golf podcast here at WFUV, On the Green.
We'll be breaking down all things on the PGA Tour, including tournament predictions, recaps, and news surrounding the sport's best players.
We'll also be joined by recurring hosts Chris Hennessy and Sam Davis, as well as others along the way.
You can listen to On the Green on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready to hit the links here on the green.
Back inside Belk Arena, 14:38 on the first half clock. Davidson out to a 10-3 lead thanks to a 10-0 run over the last 5 minutes, where Fordham has struggled to get much of anything going offensively, and with all the misses, Davidson so good in transition, able to push the pace, and it's hurting Fordham back on defense.
It's not just the 1 for 7 that's concerning. It's how they've gotten to this point, because we've seen it throughout the year. You know, they'll start slow, but these shots they're taking, they're at a high percentage. At the end of the shot clock, they're forcing shots up quickly, and that's allowing Davidson, as you mentioned, to push it in transition. You look out of Michael Jones, his only game without taking a 3 all year was against Fordham last time out. He already drilled one here because they pushed it in transition, got him open look. So for Fordham, you know, their defensive game plan works, but when they don't get a chance to get set, it's not going to. So on offensive end, it obviously starts with making baskets. They need to find ways to take better shots.
Defense for Fordham will be paramount this afternoon, knowing that they are not the most proficient offensively over this recent stretch. But Davidson, 20-0 this season when hitting the 70-point plateau. Fordham has held opponents under 70 in 4 straight and in 10 of 14 conference games this year. But if Davidson runs it up, they have not lost yet this season. Wildcats 4 of 7 from the field. Fordham has started 1 of 7 from the field, and not much of anything going offensively. And I guess the next question becomes, what has Fordham got to do to turn it around after the early struggles?
I think they have to make the extra pass, because we saw last time out versus Davidson, Darius Quisenberry got so much of the attention. He was able to dish it to other guys when they had chances, and you don't have him here. So that's 36 points missing out of 66 last time out. You need to play team basketball in order to make up for that. You know, when you play Davidson, they will allow you to hit some shots if you get open. So don't try to play hero ball. You know, don't play ISO. Find your teammates and trust them to hit some shots.
Cantrell Charlton, a guy who has been really good at that. 10 assists last time out against LaSalle. Has been running the point. 18 assists in his last 3 games off the dump off the left of the lane dump in. It's Brajkovic who nails it off the restart, and Davidson to the 9-point advantage, 12-3, approaching 6 minutes in. Zach Riley is checked in for Fordham. Leonard Kelly, Colon Navarro wheeling right. The defense from Grant Huffman. Stop, left arc over the head. Ohams with 10 to shoot, curling around Rose. The bounce, miscommunication with Ohams, intercepted by Davidson and Desmond Watson. The freshman straight on 3 for Lee, front rim and off, and Ohams the right block rebound. Chuba Ohams yet to score. Davidson on a 12-0 run, approaching 7 minutes into this game. Left arc lob, over the head catch, drawing the double team. Ohams, far corner 3. Kelly, right rim and off. The loose ball batted off the back of Kyle Rose out to the near sideline. Desmond Watson with a heads-up play. Davidson possession.
And you see on that possession, Davidson just doubling Ohams in the paint. That's what they're going to look to do all throughout this contest. He dished it to a wide-open Pat Kelly. He's unable to get the basket to fall, but that's how you have to play if you're Fordham. As I talked about, make the extra pass, and that shot there by Kelly was open enough. He'll hit that one next time out.
Ahmad Harrison has come in for Fordham. Badgering on the right arc. It's Huffman the possession. Far corner, Bochi Yeadham backing down Kelly. Free throw line, left arc 3, Watson. Front rim and off. Kelly, the one-armed left block rebound. Fordham has started just 1 of 8 from the field, scoreless, and approaching 6 minutes of game time. Straight on Charlton, the Wildcat logo. Left arc screen right from Ohams. Davidson in zone. Right arc Kelly with 12 to shoot. Wheeling around Harrison, stop at the free throw line. Kelly for Ohams left arc. 6 on the shot clock. Left of the lane drive. The baseline righty hook too strong off glass. Missed everything for Ohams. And Lee, the loose ball left side. Lee, the baseline on the left drive. The finger roll up with the right. Off the glass and good. Young-Jun Lee extends the Davidson run to 14-0. 12:30 to go in the first half. It's 14-3. Fordham scoreless in now 7 minutes of game time. Straight on Charlton, over the head pass, left arc 3. Kelly got it batted away. Straight on Charlton with 10 to shoot. Near corner, Harrison, the pump fake, baseline drive, drop off, intercepted. The pass intended for Ohams. Huffman has it. Across the midline, Huffman, free throw line, swatted away off his knee through the baseline. Davidson turns it over with 12:07 remaining first half. And the Wildcats in front 14-3.
This is not, Nick, how Fordham wants to play. These last few possessions on offense, no identity whatsoever, errant passes, miscommunication, the team aspect that we always talk about. You haven't seen it on the offensive end here early.
Davidson, a 14-0 run over 7.5 minutes. Fordham looking for a bucket. Have started 1 of 10 from the field. Left arc Harrison, the flip for Riley, straight on Charlton. Back to the basket, badgered by Lanier. Bounce, far corner 3, Harrison. Left rim and off. The left block rebound for Michael Jones. Redshirt junior, one of 4 Wildcats, averaging double figures. Had it poked away near sideline, it's out. The basketball will stay with Davidson on the other side of this timeout. Fordham looking for anything on offense. Scoreless in almost 8 minutes in this first half. Davidson out to a 14-3 lead, 11:43 to go in the opening half. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports. Back to our Rose Hill studios for a one-on-one scoreboard with Nick Guzman.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Let's start with some A-10 college basketball. Rhode Island topped Duquesne 70-54, and Dayton leads LaSalle 30-19 at the half. Later today, VCU will take on UMass, and St. Bonaventure travel to take on St. Joseph's. In top 25 college action, Michigan State bested Purdue 68-65 at home, and Arkansas leads Kentucky 32-19 at the half. Later today, Auburn will battle Tennessee, Syracuse takes on Duke, and Rutgers will defend their home court against Wisconsin. Kansas will face Baylor at 8, St. Mary's hosts Gonzaga at 10, and USC will travel to Oregon to cap off the day. In the NBA, the Celtics defeated the Pistons 113-104. Tonight, the Raptors will face the Hawks, the Grizzlies square off to face the Bulls, and the Nets will travel to Milwaukee to face the Bucks. Finally, on the ice, the Capitals lead the Flyers 2-1 in the third period. The Rangers face off against the Penguins at 3, and late tonight, the Islanders are on the West Coast to battle the Kings. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Nick Guzman.
Thanks, Nick. Back here at Belk Arena. 3/4 filled with the red seats surrounding the wood finish court. The Diamond Wildcat logo at the center of it all. Seeing Davidson out to a 14-3 advantage over Fordham. 11:43 remaining in the opening half. And Ryan, it's pretty simple. If Fordham's not going to get anything going offensively, it's going to be a long afternoon. They've started 1 of 11 from the field.
You can't shoot 9% in college basketball. I think that's pretty self-explanatory for Fordham, and what it's really doing that's hurting them, it's allowing Davidson to run their offense how they want to. Fordham last time out because they were able to hit more shots, they're able to get set. I think the game plan that they have with taking away, the shooters and then letting the other guys hit shots will work. But the issue is if they can't score, Davidson's going to push it, and they've succeeded early in getting buckets.
Young-Jun Lee, a guy who has been such a prolific scorer throughout the duration of this season. Fordham clamping down on him in the first matchup. Had 5 points in that entire game. Has 5 already here in the opening 10 minutes of this one. 11:43 on the first half clock. Davidson has the game's last 14 points, with Fordham scoreless in approaching 8 minutes of game time. Davidson will start with it out of the timeout, with Watson Bochi Yeadham, Meninga Jones, and Watson. Left baseline, backing down Bochi Yeadham, curling around Jones, left arc three, catch and shoot. Left rim and off, right block rebound, Watson soaring for it, draws the double team, shovels it in off the glass. Aggressive play from the freshman Desmond Watson. Had a season-high 3 rebounds last time out against Duquesne, and working on the offensive glass that time. It's a 16-0 Davidson run, 16-3, 9 minutes in first half.
And those are the plays, Nick, where, Fordham, if they're not hitting shots, they can limit those opportunities. But on that play there, you have to be more set defensively and get the rebound. The
step back, Kyle Rose drills a right arc three. It ends an 8-minute scoreless drought for Fordham. And the Rams are within 10, 16-6, approaching midway through the first half. Up top float, batted away by Riley into the backcourt. Lanier with possession. Left arc Meninga. His pass in front of the Fordham bench tipped. Juggled by Lanier out through the sideline. A Davidson turnover, their 5th of the opening half.
And the deflection hit Coach Neptune on the sideline. Few dribbles from him. Fordham in this one, they could use some ball handling like he displayed right there.
10:38 to go first half. Davidson 16, Fordham 6. Rams have started just 2 of 12 from the field, 1 of 7 from long range. Davidson 7 of 13 in the early going. Float for Ohams, restricted area, two-handed flush. Chuba Ohams clearing out and throwing down. Fordham within 8, 16-8. 10:15 to go first half. Emery Lanier backing out straight away. Bochi Yeadham, waste time possession. His flip, right elbow taken by Meninga, over the head pass. Near corner Watson. Straight on the over the head pass. Bochi Yeadham with 7 to shoot his 3. Back heel and off. Battle for the underneath the basket board. Taken in Meninga. Going up. Possession swatted away out through the baseline. Davidson will keep it with 18 on the shot clock. And the Wildcats will make a couple of substitutions. Hoffman, Lee, and Brajkovic all back into the game.
And uncharacteristically for Fordham, you look at the rebound battle, 13-4. Davidson leads this. They've had multiple possessions, continued from offensive glass rebounds. Fordham needs to do a better job protecting the paint.
Davidson 3rd in the Atlantic 10 in rebounding margin, especially proficient at denying offensive rebounds. Left arc, Brajkovic, his bounce, intercepted, A-10 stamp, Cologne Navarro. Pushing in transition straight away, right arc 3, Rose. Is good. Kyle Rose with a pair of early threes, and Fordham within 5, 16-11, 9:20 to go first half.
And just like that, the threes by Kyle Rose has made this a more competitive effort.
It's a 6-0 Fordham run to answer Davidson. Free throw line curling around Meninga. His lefty runner too strong over the rim, but a foul called on the flip up. Meninga aggressive to the basket, and Kyle Rose will draw his first foul. And it's Fordham's first. Kyle Neptune not a happy camper, throwing his arms up in the air to contest that call. It will send Sam Meninga to the free throw line. 12 points, 5 rebounds in Davidson's win over Duquesne on Wednesday. The guy who was such a crucial piece first time around in this matchup. Had 16 points. One of those, I'm going to dare you to make a play, and Meninga came through for Davidson. His second free throw, high off the glass, rolls off, 1 out of 2. And the Wildcats in front by 6, 17-11, 9 minutes to go first half. Charlton stop at the left elbow, left of the lane drive. Badgered by Huffman. Right arc, shot fake, Cologne Navarro. The bounce right baseline, Ohams. Stops restricted area, lefty scoop layup, goes down. Chuba Ohams with 4 early points. Fordham within 4. 8:40 and ticking first half, but a foul along the near sideline with Huffman bringing it up. Zach Riley picks up his first.
And if they're not going to double Chuba Ohams, you need them to do that every time. The way your offense has struggled in this one, you get him in that one-on-one in the paint, you put him to work, and he's succeeded so much throughout the year.
Fordham answering with a 10-1 run over the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds, trailing by 4, 17-13. Michael Jones Waist-high possession, right arc, clear out. Brajkovic, the shot fake, stop at the elbow. Righty runner, too strong. Left block rebound for Antrell Charlton. Shoulder-high pass, left arc, 3 rows. In and out, right block rebound, sword for by Huffman. 8:15 to go first half. Davidson in front by 4. Left of the lane drive. Huffman the adjustment, too strong. Right block rebound, Ohams. Fordham looking to build on a 10-1 run. Straight on Ohams, right of the lane drive, working on Brajkovic, flips it in, plus the foul. Falling away, Ohams on the baseline through the contact. Beautiful finish by Fordham's big man, and the Rams within 2. 7:59 to go in the first half. Davidson 17, Fordham 15. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi there, my friends. It's Dylan Balsamo, the voice of Fordham Women's Basketball. WFUV Sports is your home for Rams hoops all season long, with every game available through the FUV Sports Spreaker feed. You can access our Spreaker page through WFUVSports.org or the link in our Twitter and Instagram bios. Join myself, Andrew Galata, and company on site for the call of the game, plus Thomas Aiello, Chris Persiainen, and our entire WFUV Sports crew for the one-on-one pregame, halftime, and postgame reports. Coverage starts 10 minutes before tip-off of every game, so be sure to tune in. Follow the action of Fordham Women's Basketball all season long on WFUV Sports.
It's a 12-1 Fordham run to cut the Davidson lead to 2. The Wildcats 17, Fordham 15, 7:59 to go first half. Chuba Ohams with a chance to bring the deficit to 1 at the free throw line. And Fordham, after falling behind scoreless in almost 8 minutes in this first half, boy, have they responded.
And I don't even think they switch up the game plan. I think it just comes down to they started making shots. And it starts with Kyle Rose drilling those threes back-to-back, as we've talked about. It allowed them to get set defensively. And the strategy that they are really imposing, it's working early. So when you're able to hit your threes, when you're able to get Chuba obviously working down in the paint, it's a recipe for success. And Fordham, after looking uncompetitive those first 5+ minutes, they've made this a legitimate game.
This is a Fordham offense that has struggled at times recently, carried by the defense, but getting the shots to fall. And Kyle Rose, who has been such an important piece for Fordham on both ends of the floor, 10 points a game over his last 4 games. 10 points, 5 rebounds against LaSalle. Held to a conference play low, just 2 the first time around with Davidson, and up to 6, making an impact early.
He's the ultimate 3-and-D player. We've seen it all year. With him, it's the consistency that's been lacking. You've talked about it. The up and down, we saw a lot early on. But as this season's progressed, double digits in 7 of his last 11, he's really came into his own on the offensive end of the floor.
Fordham shooting 6 of 17 in the early going. Davidson 7 of 16. And Chuba Ohams headed to the free throw line to try and cut the Davidson lead to 1. Rose, Cologne, Navarro, Kelly. Ohams and Charlton, the 5 on the floor for Fordham on the timeout. Ohams to convert on the and 1. Too strong. Right rim and off. The weak side rebound for Sam Meninga. Meninga with 4 boards early. Davidson in front by 2. 7:50 and ticking first half. Free throw line possession, bounce, right block. Meninga working on the defense from Ohams. Right shouldering him off. The lefty leaner, front rim, and falls. But a foul called after he drilled it off front rim. Ohams picks up his first foul. And Sam Meninga will head to the free throw line for a second time in the first half.
And yet another offensive rebound that gives Davidson another chance. If Fordham wants to make this a legit game late in this one, they can't let that happen because Davidson can shoot it so well, and Fordham obviously can't. So they can't give them those energy and those hustle points.
Meninga drills the first. Davidson in front by 3, 18-15, 7:40 to go on the first half clock. Meninga hits the second, 5 in this first half. Davidson, the 4-point lead, 19-15, 7.5 minutes to go in the opening half. Antrell Charlton walking it across the midline. Season high, 10 assists. Last time out, straight on 3, Cologne Navarro. Front rim and off, battle for the right block rebound. Ohams rips it away. Right baseline, the stutter step, going to work, stop, A-10 stamp, righty sky hook, rolls off to the right. And the rebound tip to Grant Huffman. Davidson walking it across into the front court. Left baseline, Meninga backing down Kelly. Stops at the right hash marks. Far corner pass. Lee got it poked away by Rose. Here comes Cologne Navarro. Front court bounce. Charlton off the pass. Got it blocked away. And a goaltending call. No, the call is just a foul. The bounce by Cologne Navarro. Charlton elevating. And had it blocked away by Grant Huffman. Trailing from behind. Appeared that there was a lot of ball there. Regardless, Charlton to the free throw line.
And Fordham was right there to push it in transition, 2-on-1. Just great defense from Davidson to get back. Fordham very fortunate to get the foul call to go their way.
Charlton's first rolls around and drops. The Davidson lead 3, 19-16. Kyle Rose will check out for Fordham with Zach Riley returning to the action. 6:55 to go in the opening half. Fordham had the chance to make it a 2-point game with Charlton, his second, all net. Charlton with 2 points in the opening half. The guy who's been so crucial as a distributor. Fordham trailing by 2. Left arc, waist-high possession for Sam Meninga. Roaming around, right block float. Lee rolls it off the front of the rim, looking for a foul call, doesn't get it. And the underneath the basket rebound, Chuba Ohams with 3 in the first half. A foul away from the basketball. Fordham turns it over. Cologne Navarro called for a shove to clear. Check that, they'll call it on Lee. Those two tangled up. The foul going against Davidson after it was originally called on Fordham. The Rams will keep possession. Trailing by 2, 6.5 minutes to go first half. Left arc Riley, the pump fake. Over the head possession. Cologne Navarro stops A-10 stamp. The dump off with 8 to shoot. Charlton going to work on Jones. Righty pull up is good. From 18, the long 2. Charlton ties it at 19. 6 minutes to go first half.
That really has been his favorite shot all year. Drilling the mid-range area, he's comfortable even with a hand in his face.
Right arc Meninga, Fordham, a 16-3 run. The right arc 3 off backboard, off rim. Lee too strong. And a foul again away from the basketball. Fordham will keep possession with a chance to take their first lead since the opening minute. With this one square at 19, 5:55 to go first half. At the 4th team foul for Davidson. Antrell Charlton to bounce left of the lane to Ohams. His cross-court pass, right arc 3, Kelly. Misses everything. Graces off the backboard. And the loose ball for Davidson into the front court. Float left of the lane, Meninga. Waist-time possession, defense from Kelly. Stop A-10 stamp, curling around. Jones has possession, badgered by Riley. Left arc and a foul called as he blows by. Riley picks up his second of the first half. Fordham picks up their 6th team foul of the opening half. 5:28 to go with us all square at 19. Youngjun Lee will inbound. Fordham with Rose, Charlton, Cologne Navarro, Kelly, and Ohams on the floor. Left arc Lanier back to the basket. Left baseline Brajkovic. Backing down Kelly with 10 to shoot. Stop A-10 stamp. Far corner pass Jones. Right the lane Brajkovic backing down again with 5 and with 4. A foul called on Kelly with Brajkovic backing down with a waning shot clock. And now to the free throw line, the front end of a 1-and-1 after Pat Kelly bails out Davidson.
And these refs are really, loving blowing this whistle these last few possessions. A few off the ball, a few before possessions got set. There, Fordham had fantastic defense, tight defense by Pat Kelly. But as we talked about, Davidson very fortunate to get a foul to go their way.
Brajkovic to the free throw line. 19 all, 5:11 to go first half. Fordham looking for an upset victory. The first from Brajkovic rolls off, right block rebound. Abdus-Simbila, who's checked in. Davidson, a team that is so good shooting free throws. That time, Brajkovic off the mark. Left baseline run, in and out of the hands of Rose on the feed from Charlton out through the baseline. Fordham with a fourth turnover the first half.
And just a little too much zip put on that ball. Kyle Rose wide open under the basket. Easy, opportunity to take the lead. Just too much from Charlton on the pass.
Right arc float Meninga. Stop at the right elbow. Near corner three Lanier. Misses everything. Right block loose ball. Chuba Ohams. Outlets far sideline. Game tied at 19. 4:40 to go first half. Right arc Cologne Navarro. Straightaway Charlton. Fordham probing the perimeter. Left of the lane, back down. It's Ohams working on Brajkovic. Righty sky hook off back heel, falls off, but a foul called. Ohams falling to the floor. Brajkovic leaning into him. And Chuba Ohams will head to the free throw line, has a Fordham high 6 points, looking to end a 3-minute Fordham scoreless drought.
For Fordham, you get the sense, I've seen Chuba Ohams these last few possessions fading away from the basket. You want the opposite. You want him attacking it. He has the size and the body control inside. He's taking it away. It's worked a few times, but when that body hits the floor, you always get a little nervous.
His first is good. Cal Neptune ahead of this one saying Chuba is a huge piece of what we do offensively and defensively. Says he can be an anchor inside. Him back along with Abdu, hopefully staying out of foul trouble, will give them a better chance to win this time around against Davidson. He sinks both at the line, and Fordham takes its first lead since the first minute of this one. 21-19, 4:20 to go first half. Left baseline pull up, back heel and off from Watson. Right block rebound for Ohams. He's got 5 in the first half. Left arc Charlton. Back to the basket, Watson the defense, Ohams attacking, A-10 stamp, and a travel called on the Fordham big man. 4:10 remaining first half, Fordham 21, Davidson 19. As Fordham commits a 5th turnover of the opening half. Right arc pass, cross court, Meninga. Stops at the free throw line, waste time possession. Curling around Lanier, Meninga gets it back on the block, near corner 3. Watson rolls it off, rebound batted in front of the midline, taken by Emery Lanier. Extra possession Davidson. Left baseline back down, Watson working on Ohams. Right arc Meninga tries the 3. Back heel and off. Rebound pops up over the head of Ohams, last touched by Watson out through the baseline. Fordham possession, sending us to another first half timeout. Fordham, a 6-0 run to take a 21-19 lead, 3:36 remaining in the opening half. Back to our Rose Hill Studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Nick Guzman.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In A10 college basketball, Rhode Island beat Duquesne 70-54, and Dayton leads at LaSalle 36-28 in the second half. Later this afternoon, St. Bonaventure will take on St. Joseph's, and VCU will hit the road to take on UMass. In other college basketball action, Michigan State topped Purdue 68-65, and Texas leads West Virginia 43-37 at the half. Later today, Syracuse will take on Duke, Rutgers will host Wisconsin, and Auburn will battle Tennessee. Kansas will face Baylor at 8, St. Mary's hosts Gonzaga at 10, and USC will travel to Oregon to cap off the day. Over to the NBA, where the Celtics defeated the Pistons 113-104. Tonight, the Grizzlies square off against the Bulls, the Nets travel to face the Bucks, and the Hawks host the Raptors. We'll wrap things up on the ice, where the Capitals top the Flyers 2-1, and the Oilers lead the Panthers 4-3 late in the third. The Rangers are set to face off against the Penguins any minute now, and late tonight, the Islanders are on the West Coast to battle the Kings. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Nick Guzman.
Fordham 21, Davidson 19, 3:36 remaining in the opening half. This a Davidson team atop the Atlantic 10, have won 13 of 15 in conference this season, buoyed by the second longest winning streak in the entire country this season. They rattled off 15 in a row. That culminated with a January 22nd win against Fordham. Would go on to lose the next time out against VCU. It was tied with Auburn, and the fifth time that Davidson has won 15 consecutive games under Bob McKillop, trailing only their 2008 25-game winning streak on the way to the Elite Eight with Steph Curry. This is a Davidson team that is hoping to make a return to March Madness, and has a shot for an at-large bid, but trailing Fordham 21-19 with 3:36 remaining. And Fordham, playing a team that's atop their conference, has looked like they belong.
And that's been no surprise if you've watched Fordham play all year. The way their defense is shaping up in this game, if your name is not Hunter Lee and it's not Jones, they're going to dare you to take the three. Davidson, outside of one Michael Jones three, hasn't made one, just 1 for 11 for the team. That's sixth best in the nation at shooting threes.
On the season, 76 points per game for this Davidson offense, top 60 in the NCAA, 49% from the field, that's 10th best. They're shooting just 32% in the opening half against Fordham today. Straight on Rose, onto the restart. He had possession poked away. It's batted near sideline. Last touch by Rose. And Davidson with possession, trailing by 2, 3:22 to go first half. Davidson scoreless in approaching 4 minutes and 18 seconds for a loaded offense playing without Foster Lawyer this afternoon. Straight on Lanier, right of the lane stop. His runner goes down. Emery Lanier, the stop at the free throw line, breaks the scoreless drought. Davidson even with Fordham 21 all. 3 minutes to go first half. Backcourt possession poked from Cologne Navarro. He reclaims across the midline. Antrell Charlton straight away, drawing the zone pressure from Davidson. Left arc three. Cologne Navarro in and out. Left block board for Luka Brajkovic. Jones into the front court, stop, shovel. Brajkovic straight on three. It's good. The senior from Austria, averaging 11 and 9 over his last four at 49% from the field. That's 10% below his season average. Gets that one to go. Davidson in front by 3. Right block dump. Simbilla, the turnaround hook with the left is good. Abdou Simbilla with an answer. Fordham trailing by 1, 24-23. 2:10 and ticking first half. Lanier, the float. Brajkovic straight away, directing traffic. The knee-high possession. Charlton contesting a handoff and a foul called. Reaching for possession. Michael Jones heads to the free throw line.
That's a guy you never want to send to the free throw line. 87% on there. Antrell Charlton, you respect and you like the tough defense on him, but with 2 minutes left in the half, with Davidson in the bonus, you need to play just a little bit off and get the whistle to not go against you.
That Fordham's 8th team foul of the opening half. Davidson in front by 1, 24-23, 2:05 remaining. Jones with the first. Going down. Jones in double figures in 4 of his last 5, has multiple threes in 4 straight games. Hits the front end to put Davidson in front by 2 and make it 3, 26-23. Nelson Bochi-Edom will check in for Davidson, sending Sam Meninga to the bench. Time for a Davidson high 5 points in this opening half. Has been a major factor in moving the basketball. Straightaway Charlton, left arc Rose pulls it down with 1:55 and ticking first half. Stop A-10 stamp. The float near corner, Cologne Navarro drawing the near side double team with 12 to shoot. Dribbles out, right arc Charlton, the pull-up jumper. back heel and off. The left of the lane rebound tipped and taken by Davidson. Yeonjun Lee with possession. Far corner kick out. Emery Lanier straight on Jones. The defense from Charlton. Stop restricted area. The bounce. Bochi Yeadham with the shovel in. Nelson Bochi Yeadham on the feed from Jones, and Davidson a 5-point lead, 28-23.
And they're running a much more up-tempo style offense to combat Fordham's aggressive defense.
1:10 and ticking first half. It's a 9-2 Davidson run to pull in front by 5. Straight on Cologne Navarro with 12 to shoot. Kyle Rose shielded by Lee. Right baseline float, knocked away Brajkovic, and a foul called with Ohams looking to clamp possession. Brajkovic reaching over and picking up his second here late in the first half. Sam Meninga will run back in off the Davidson bench. Brajkovic likely sidelined for the final 57 seconds of the first half. Fordham, a fresh 20 on the shot clock, 57 seconds remaining in the first half. Trailing by 5, foul away from the basketball. Zach Riley picks up his third with a bump to the hip of Bochi Yeadham. And Davidson with possession after Fordham commits a 7th turnover in the first half.
And Zach Riley, he can't believe that call there. And for him, 3 fouls in this one. Someone that's earned a lot more trust, but likely heading to the sideline soon.
Emery Lanier back to the basket. Riley, for the moment, remains on the floor here in the final 40 seconds first half. Left arc, Bochi Yeadham. The handoff for Jones with 15 to shoot. Shielded by Riley. Roaming right arc, the right baseline runner. Left rim and off to follow. Yeadham yanks it down, going back up. And the contact to his left wrist as the ball falls to the floor will draw a foul. Bochi Yeadham handcuffed at the doorstep. Looking to shovel it back in. Couldn't get it to fall. And we'll head to the free throw line to try and extend this Davidson lead. 28-23 in the final 31 seconds.
And with that rebound there for Davidson, they now have out-rebounded Fordham by 10 in the first half. The first free throw off there. But as you kind of look back at how they have a 5-point lead, well, getting these second chance opportunities has been a huge reason why.
Davidson been so good on the boards. Third in the Atlantic 10 in rebounding margin. Bochi Yeadham misses a pair off back heel on the second. Fordham just 2-7 this season when being out-rebounded, 9-6 when they win the rebounding battle. Antrell Charlton strolls across the midline, and Kyle Neptune wants a timeout to set up the final 24.7 of the first half, with Fordham trailing by 5, 28-23. Be sure to stay tuned for the one-on-one halftime report with Thomas Aiello, our studio host, and one-on-one scoreboard from Nick Guzman. Alex Wolves, Brian Raybacks helping us out in our Rose Hill studios. Fordham looking to claw back after falling behind early, taking a lead, and now in position to answer with one final possession to close out the first half.
You want to end this half strong if you're Fordham, but regardless of if you score at this last possession, you have to feel good about that last 15 minutes. 14-3, you're down right out of the gate, and it looked like it wasn't going to be a competitive one. But as we've seen all year, Fordham claws back. They make it uncomfortable on the defensive end, and it gave their offense just enough time to make this competitive. Now, still down 5. Davidson has figured it out this last 4 minutes on a 9-2 run, but end the half strong, get some good momentum heading into half.
Rose, Riley, Cologne Navarro, Charlton, and Ohams take the floor at the timeout for Fordham. 7/10 of a second differential between shot and game clock. Antrell Charlton a foot in front of the midline, clamping the basketball to his left hip, letting time elapse as Fordham will wait to get into their set to close out the first half. Trailing by 5, right arc Rose with 7 to shoot. The bounce on the baseline, Ohams with 3 and with 2. Step back jumper. Right rim and off. Grazed the backboard. Ohams from the mid-range can't get it to fall, and that closes out the first half. Davidson ends the opening frame on a 9-2 run to take a 28-23 lead into the break. Youngjun Lee with 5 points. Michael Jones, Sam Meninga, and Luka Brajkovic had 5 each of their own to a 28 total. To pace Davidson in the opening half. Chuba Ohams with 8 on 3 of 7 from the field in the opening 20 minutes. Kyle Rose with 6. Josh Colon-Navarro with 3. Antrell Charlton pouring in 4, with Fordham trailing by 5 at halftime. Davidson 28, Fordham 23. Back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one halftime report with Thomas Aiello.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Surprise! I have returned to another one-on-one halftime show. Welcome inside of the broadcast, everyone. I'm Thomas Aiello, as Nick DeLuca promised. I'll be breaking down the first half with my good buddy Nick Guzman. But before we start yapping about the first half here, Fordham 23, Davidson 28 down in North Carolina. Excuse me. We're going to send it to a one-on-one scoreboard update with the great Nick Guzman. Nick, take it away.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Thank you, Thomas. We'll start with some A10 college hoops. Rhode Island topped Duquesne 70-54 early this afternoon, and LaSalle is moving from Dayton 36-34 in the second half. Later this afternoon, St. Bonaventure will take on St. Joseph's, and VCU will hit the road to take on UMass. In top 25 action, Michigan State topped Purdue 68-65 at home. Arkansas leads Kentucky 36-31, and Texas leads West Virginia 47-44 in the second half. Later today, Rutgers takes on Wisconsin, Syracuse will host Duke, and Auburn will clash with Tennessee. Kansas will face Baylor at 8, St. Mary's hosts Gonzaga at 10, and USC will travel to Oregon to cap off the day. In NBA action, the Celtics defeated the Pistons 113-104. Tonight, the Grizzlies square off against the Bulls, the Nets travel to face the Bucks, and the Hawks host the Raptors. On the ice, where the Capitals topped the Flyers 2-1, and the Oilers hung on to beat the Panthers 4-3. The Rangers and Penguins are scoreless in the first, and the Islanders are on the West Coast later tonight to battle the Kings. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Nick Guzman.
Thank you, Nick. I am very much looking forward to that Auburn game. Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, 2 of my favorite players this year in college basketball. But we have a college game here. Davidson up 28-23 here at the break over Fordham. Let's start with the Davidson side of things. Hyunjin Lee, Mike Jones, and Luka Brajkovic, 5 points each, combining for 15. Now, it's worth noting that 3 of these guys, or all 3 of them, are going to be bidding for All Atlantic 10 spots this year. Hyunjin Lee and Lawyer's not playing today, which is actually huge because he's the 6th leading scorer in the A10. I think those 2 are going to make first team All A10. Brajkovic probably second team, and Jones, who is their 4th option, is probably going to be making a bid for a 3rd team All Atlantic 10. But right now it's sort of another grinded out game, especially on the defensive end. But Davidson, this is a team 7th in the country coming into today in offensive efficiency. You need to put them down and put them down away. And Fordham so far, despite that 8-minute scoreless thing that they had going on, came storming back and had a lead 21-19 at one point until Davidson goes on a 9-2 run to end the first half, Nick. And as I said, this is a team you need to get out in front early. You have to get started quickly and start on the defensive end. And Fordham really recovered after that blip in the radar in that first half. What are you liking so far from the Rams on defense?
In the open, Coach Neptune talked about how impressive the defense has been over this recent stretch, and it's just continued in this game. Dayton, you talked about it, Thomas. They've got great players. They've been able to shut down Lee like they shut him down in that first meeting.
Yep.
And, if the fact that you can go for an 8-minute stretch in this game against a team like Dayton and still be in it, Davidson,
there you go.
rather. It speaks wonders to how good, you've been defensively. And you feel like if the Rams can pick it up a little bit on offense, they're in this game.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Now, again, highlight Hyunjin Lee as the player you really have to focus in on. You have to really dare someone else to win the game if you're Fordham. I'm looking at Sam Meninga, probably Huffman, Bocha Yedem, Watson perhaps maybe. Make someone other than Jones or Lee or Brajkovic beat you. That is the key to me. But let's go to Fordham's side of things. Chuba Ohams, 8 points, 5 rebounds here in half number 1. Kyle Rose, 2 of 3 from distance. Josh Colon-Navarro had the first score of the game with a 3 for Fordham. And Antrell Charlton, 4 points, a rebound, and an assist, and a foul so far in 18 minutes. Those are your top 4 for Fordham, and Abdou Simbila, of course, has 2 points. But Fordham really not getting any sort of point production from their bench. I mean, Pat Kelly has 3 rebounds, sure, but he's got to start putting that ball in the basket. And the bench play, to me, is going to be incredibly crucial as we enter that final 5 minutes of the second half. It's going to be huge coming out to start the second half, especially if you're Fordham. And someone like Pat Kelly, who's a spot-up shooter and is an incredibly valuable asset in my eyes, if you can find him in the right spots and get him open looks. To me, if he can hit 2 or 3 of these, you're right back in this game. And I'm looking at guys like him. I'm looking at Colon-Navarro, Kyle Rose. They need to start hitting these threes pretty quickly. And honestly, that could propel Fordham the rest of the way. That can probably give them the momentum boost that they need to, at the very least, be competitive in this game, Nick.
Without Darius Quisenberry, you need production from other players. You need production off the bench. Fordham hasn't really gotten it so far in this game. Shooting 33% as a team from the field. You're not going to win many games with that kind of field goal percentage.
They won 2 in a row shooting under 30.
Trust me, Thomas, it's not sustainable. It is not sustainable, especially like a team like Davidson.
You're not wrong.
The defense we've talked about, it's been locked down, but it's not sustainable shooting that low of a percentage. I think you got to keep feeding Chuba Ohams. Like you said, maybe try and get some guys off the bench, spot up some threes, and maybe spark some momentum for this Rams offense.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And I'll remind everyone once again, one of my favorite things to tweet out as of late. Fordham is currently ranked 54th according to Ken Palm in adjusted defensive efficiency. This is without Darius Quisenberry playing, and that's pretty nuts. And before I deliver my soliloquy about Bob McKillop, I just want to touch very quickly on 2 things here. Number one, going into the second half, if Fordham, again, if they want to have at least a competitive game here, Abdou Simbila and Chuba Ohams, the trees need to feast. They have to feast. That's going to be the big thing. And Coach Neptune, he's talked about this in his post games, in the interviews he's done with Nick DeLuca. Abdou Simbila hurts the players in practice. Now, no, of course, it's not intentional. He doesn't have beef with people, I'm sure. But he's just so physical and so strong. He's 6'9", 240 pounds. He may be even a little bit heavier than that, but it's of pure muscle. And Chuba Ohams, who's just incredibly long and wiry. He has tremendous athleticism. To me, those two are going to have to really start bumping people around in the paint. I'm looking at Breakovich. I mean, he's a stretch big and he's crafty around the rim, but my question with him is, can he hang with Abdou Simbila and with Chuba Ohams? That's level of physical play in the paint. That's going to be my big question, and just challenging all comers at the rim. And as well for Chuba Ohams, double-double watch for him. Of course, 8-5 right now. He currently has 16. Now, if he gets 17 today, he is going to be 2 double-doubles off for the single-season record, which was set by Chris Gaston. You remember this name, Fordham fans? Chris Gaston. He set the record way back when he was playing, but from 2009 to 2013. He had 19 double-doubles in a single season, as well as Chuba Ohams needs 1 more block to tie for 8th all-time in career blocks at Fordham. He will tie, and if he gets multiple blocks today, he will pass Hall of Famer Ed Bona, class of 1983. But I just wanted to talk about Bob McKillop, who has stuck with Davidson since 1989, one of the premier mid-major head coaches in all of America. And to me, if you look up the definition of consistency, especially at the mid-major level, because this is where I say when these coaches are really good at this mid-major level, they get pulled up, right? You talk about Shaka Smart at VCU, Anthony Grant. Now he's at Dayton, but it's sort of the same concept. Will Wade went from VCU to LSU. Point being, Bob McKillop has been at Davidson since 1989, so he's been there since Steph Curry was 1, and he's been there ever since. And the Wildcats, they were an independent when he was their head coach, but then he joined the Big South for 2 seasons from 1990 to 1992. Then they moved to the Southern Conference, which they spent 24 seasons. 24 seasons, that's a long time, Nick. And in that time span, they won 12 regular season championships, 7 conference tournament titles, and made the NCAA tournament 6 times, and had a 2-time consensus All-American in the name of Wardell Stephen Curry. And then Davidson joins the A-10 in 2014. In their first season, they win the regular season title, and they go to the NCAA tournament with Jack Gibbs at the helm. Now, Bob McKillop doesn't have a Jack Gibbs. He doesn't have a Steph Curry anymore, but he's got 4 guys, as I mentioned, between Hyunjin Lee, Foster Lawyer, again, not playing today, but still important to mention, Luka Bratkovic, and Michael Jones, 4 players who can put the ball in the basket. And he has an incredible bench that can step up and make plays. Menenga, Huffman, Lehner, Watson, Bochi Yedem. I mean, these are guys who fill their roles perfectly. And Davidson, I know that we're supposed to be talking a little bit about Fordham as well, but Davidson is such an impressive mid-major program. They are almost the golden standard, if you will, of a mid-major team operating like a Power 5 team.
I was just going to mention that, Thomas.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a mid-major program you want to model yourself off of, Davidson is the perfect
Davidson's a great
model
one,
of consistency. They're always up there in the A-10. And
they're the top team right now in the
yes,
A-10.
they're always up there, top team right now. And even when they don't have a star, like you mentioned, like Steph Curry, there's still players that are very good, like Lee, like Jones. This is a program that, if Fordham, you talk about them wanting to take the next level, I think you can take something from this Davidson program, look at how they're running things.
I absolutely agree. And last game for Davidson was a 74-50 annihilation over Duquesne. Hyunjin Lee went off for 27. Fordham doing a good job so far, and him 5 points, 2 of 5 shooting from the field overall. Chuba Oham's 8 points and 5 rebounds here in the first half. So, Nick, we have a couple minutes left here before we have to send it back out to Davidson, North Carolina. What are you looking for? What are your keys to the second half if you're Fordham?
You got to keep up the defensive intensity and pray that some shots will fall.
Pray that some shots will
I think
fall.
so.
Wow, okay. When did you find religion?
Fordham have been very good defensively with this recent stretch. They're good at locking down stars. I wouldn't, be stunned if they kept locking down Lee. I think that's probably going to happen. Fordham needs some shots. They need Chuba Ohams. They need to keep feeding him down low, make some perimeter shots. But the fact that the Rams are in this game against Davidson right now is impressive on the road. It shows how intense they're playing on defense, how good they're playing on defense. And if some shots can start to fall, they're in this game.
And I absolutely agree with you. Keep an eye out, as I said, for Chuba Oham's double-double watch, as well as 8th all-time in career blocks at Fordham. But that is going to just about do it, for now at least, for myself and Nick Guzman. We're going to send it back out to Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware out in the house and program that Steph Curry and Bob McKillop have built. Guys, take it away.
Hi, I'm Michael Calamari, reminding you to tune into New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch all the breaking sports news, hot takes, inside scoops from our beat reporters, and interviews with people around the world of sports. One on One airs every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on YouTube Live, and once again at night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 90.7 FM. Want more One on One? Catch our Wednesday edition of the show, One on One nightly from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Twitter and YouTube Live. Join the conversation and tune in to One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show.
Thanks, guys. Back at Belk Arena at the break. Davidson 28, Fordham 23. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our on-site producer Tom Quigley, and the rest of our WFUV Sports crew. So happy you could be with us on this Saturday afternoon. Fordham hanging tough, fell behind early, couldn't get a shot to fall. They got the offense going, but Davidson closes the opening half on a 9-2 run. Fordham going to need more of that offensive punch with Davidson so potent scoring the basketball.
And they did do a very good job, that kind of 15 to 5 minute mark of really limiting what Davidson wanted to do. But you get the sense, Nick, with how explosive this offense is, they're going to hit some big shots late. So for Fordham, you need to do a good job continuing to make them uncomfortable. For me, what I look at is the one thing that you really can control. It's not about making shots, because they'll get open looks, they'll go in or they won't. It's the glass. It's the offensive rebound battle. Davidson is 7. Fordham just has 1. That's allowed Davidson to get a ton of second chance points. That is one thing I think you put a lot of emphasis on, because it's more easy to control.
And the guy at the forefront on the glass, Chuba Ohams, who's been a monster this whole season, but averaging 17 and 13 over his last 4 games. Can Fordham get him more involved? A team-high 8 points, but only 8 shot attempts, and that is a lot for a first half, but Fordham needs to work through him.
No surprise, he's the leading scorer for this team. That's how this team is going to operate when they're successful. It's the Chuba Oham's show. So we talked about it, 8 shot attempts, but you do want it to be more aggressive. You want to take every shot he can when he's on one-on-one down low. That's where he really thrives. And if they're going to double, if they're going to keep bringing pressure, Nick, well, that sets up other guys. That sets up some open three-point shots, especially from the corner. Maybe Kyle Rose gets some looks, Josh Colon-Navarro. So you have to run your offense as a big, and one way or another, it can work out.
Fordham's been consistent defensively. They're not going to let the other team's big guns hurt them. Youngjun Lee has been held to just 5 in this opening half, and it's about Meninga and Brajkovic coming through for Davidson.
And that's what the story of last game was. Youngjun Lee, he gets 5 early points in this one. You figure, okay, this is the game where he really breaks out. He's been playing fantastic basketball, but Fordham just kind of limited him, right? Completely doubling him, not letting him get the looks he wants to. It 100% comes down to Meninga and Brajkovic. Those are the guys Fordham's willing to leave open, and they're the ones who are going to dictate this offense.
Fordham will start with the basketball to open the second half. To float into the backcourt, over the shoulder catch by Josh Colon-Navarro. Fordham shot at 8 for 26 in the opening half. That's 31%. Left arc Rose, the catch and shoot 3. Left rim off. Simbila hopping for the one-armed left block rebound, and the loose ball underneath as he couldn't clasp it. A loose ball foul going to Davidson in the opening 13 seconds, and Fordham will keep possession.
And you like Abdou Simbila using his body there to create a second chance opportunity. Just what I was talking about, Fordham getting another shot.
Antrell Charlton left elbow, left of the lane bounce with 15 on the shot clock. Right arc Colon-Navarro with a whistle away from the basketball. Appears that Luka Brajkovic has come up limp with him shaking out that right ankle. We're awaiting the official ruling on the previous foul underneath the basket. Grant Huffman has picked up his 3rd. And the first for Davidson in the opening 20 seconds of the second half. Fordham trailing by 5, 28-23. 12 on the shot clock. The Rams inbound far sideline. Right baseline drive, Oham. Stop center of the paint. Righty jump hook. Right rim and off. And it's Huffman clearing for the underneath the basket rebound. Colon-Navarro, the tight defense. Huffman left arc. Davidson looking to build on a 5-point lead. Shot at 38% in the opening half. Possession knocked away out through the baseline. A fingertip from Fordham. Davidson keeps it. 15 to shoot, 19-17 on the second half game clock. Davidson leading by 5. Right of the goal, inbound Lee. Laser pass on the perimeter, handoff Meninga. Kick out near corner 3, Brajkovic. Left rim off, right block rebound for Antrell Charlton. Hugs it to the body, walks it across the midline, drawing the straightaway double team. His feed near side off the outstretched left arm of Colon-Navarro, and Fordham turns it over again. Couldn't handle the pass with some heat.
Caught in between there was Josh Colon-Navarro and Kyle Rose. Perhaps that was the issue there. But Charlton, we've seen a few times in this game, putting some zip on the ball, and Fordham has been able to come up with those passes.
Grant Huffman, the lefty dribble. Up top, over the head pass. Left arc, Brajkovic. Shadowed by Ohams. Roaming right arc with 15 to shoot. Handoff Huffman. Near side, it's Meninga. Backing down, Brajkovic, right arc. Defended by Ohams. Righty runner goes down. From 5 right in the lane, Luka Brajkovic breaks the seal for Davidson in the second half. They lead by 7, 30-23. Minute and a half gone by in the second half, and a foul away from the basketball along the far sideline. Davidson will pick up a second team foul of this half. Pat Kelly will check in. Chuba Ohams will head out. Over the head inbound into the backcourt. The lob, Josh Colon-Navarro. A 6-0 Davidson run to extend the lead to 7. Michael Jones picking up the previous foul. Left arc, Cologne Navarro. Straight on Rose with 8 to shoot. Charlton, the extra pass. Right rim off. The rebound batted near side. And Fordham will pick up a loose ball foul.
And it looks like it's going to go against Simbilla, using that kind of size to his disadvantage there, getting me over the back to go against him.
Davidson has 11 of the game's last 13 points. Fordham, dating back to the first half, scoreless in almost 4 minutes. Left to the lane, Jones in the backcourt, badgered by Charlton across the midline. 2 minutes in, second half. Davidson by 7 with the basketball. Jones right to the lane drive. Kick out underneath the basket. Tip by Rose. Cologne Navarro running right to the lane. Left it short off the glass. Loose ball off of Kelly through the baseline. Davidson possession. Cologne Navarro, a golden opportunity in transition when it goes by the boards.
And it looks like what caused that miss by Joshua Navarro was just the presence of Lee. He didn't get to the ball, but he was right next to him, so perhaps Cologne Navarro goes up weaker, thinking there's going to be some contact.
Between the legs dribble, it's Huffman drawing the midline stripe double team. Back to the basket, Meninga backing down Simbilla. Lefty jump hook, front rim off. Charlton, the right block, loose ball. Running it into the front court, Fordham trailing by 7. Charlton straight away, left of the lane bounce. Right block, Simbilla, lefty sky hook, left rim and off. Brajkovic, the weak side rebound.
And Fordham, it appears they're making more of a conscious effort to take it inside. In this half, it's not worked yet.
Between the legs dribble, Jones. Hip pocket defense from Charlton. Brajkovic straight away, looking for a handoff, roaming left. Meninga backing down Simbilla left baseline. Left arc, Brajkovic is good. All alone from 3, Luka Brajkovic extending the range and extending the Davidson lead to double figures. Davidson 33, Fordham 23. Approaching 3.5 minutes into the second half. Right arc handoff, Charlton. Stop at the free throw line. Near corner kick. Low pass, Rose. Straight on Cologne Navarro. Right elbow stop. Drawing the double team. Left arc, Charlton with 6 to shoot. Left baseline drive. Traffic underneath. Poked away out through the baseline. Davidson touched it last. Fordham with possession, but just 2 on the shot clock.
They've done a really good job, Davidson has, of just putting pressure on Fordham. Even these passes, they're getting completed. They're nearly going out of bounds. They're off kind of target. Davidson making Fordham very frustrated to open up this half.
Fordham yet to score out of the halftime break, approaching 6 minutes of game time since their last points. With 2 to shoot, left of the goal inbound. Riley, right arc on the baseline, backing down, and Fordham turns it over. Riley with the miscue, did not appear to be aware that the shot clock was winding down.
The play was set up for him to take that 3 wide open. Just Zach Riley, freshman coming in mid-season, not aware of the shot clock. Those are the turnovers you can totally limit with more focus.
Riley to the bench. Kelly comes back in. Bochi Edom right arc with Davidson in front by 10. He plays catch. Fordham in zone. Right of the lane, Brajkovic. Over the head possession. He's got a game-high 10 points. Left arc 3. Left rim off from Lanier, and a clear for the center of the paint rebound, Kelly. Fordham into the front court, looking to break a scoreless drought of over 6 minutes. Free throw line possession, Charlton. Straight away, Cologne Navarro. Left arc Rose. Fordham probing the perimeter. Left of the lane, left baseline. It's Ohams backing down. Righty jump hook, rolls in. Chuba Ohams finally gets Fordham back into the scoring column. They trail by 8, 33-25. 4.5 minutes in second half. Ohams to double figures with 10 points. Bochi Edom racing across the midline. Straight away, Emery Lanier. Screen left from Brajkovic. The float left elbow. Brajkovic working on Kelly. A foul away from the basketball. Kyle Rose will pick up his second and Fordham's second of the second half. Fordham trying to get the offense going. Davidson stretching the lead to 8. Wildcats 33, Fordham 25, approaching the 5-minute mark of the second half. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
this is Tom Quigley, your Rangers beat reporter for WFUV Sports. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at tquigs04, that's TQUIGS04, for all the latest Blue Shirts news and in-game updates. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to WFUV Sports on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for my post-game recaps and for all things WFUV.
Back here at Belk Arena on the campus of Davidson, the Wildcats 33, Fordham 25, 15-17 on the second half clock. Davidson in the midst of a 9-2 run dating back to the first half, and Fordham finally finding a bucket in the second half. The Chuba Ohams jump hook ending a 7+ minute scoreless drought, and Fordham needing to get some more positive momentum on offense. They've made just 9 field goals this afternoon, shooting it at 28%.
And hard to believe they're still in this game the way they are, with those numbers being the way they are. But, Nick, both these halves started virtually the same way. You know, Davidson was able to do what they wanted defensively, take Fordham out of it, and then just get opportunities when they can. So I expect Fordham to come out with a similar adjustment. But as you said, it really starts with, making your shots, because that allows your defense to be set up. We've seen in the second half, it took Chuba Ohams 5 minutes to get it going. You need other guys besides him to hit shots.
On January 22nd, the game flipped when Luka Brajkovic got it going. That has happened again today, a little bit different because he has shot it well from long range.
Hey, he stepped outside of the arc and he shoots threes well, right? That's something, we haven't talked about a ton, but Fordham, they've been willing to let him take them, and you have to give him credit because he's making them pay in terms of that aspect of the game plan.
10 points, 5 rebounds. Brajkovic, 4 of 6 from the field and 2 of 3 from downtown to lead Davidson scorers. Chuba Ohams leading the way for Fordham with 10 points into this second half on 4 of 10 from the field. As a game-high 6 rebounds, searching for a 5th straight double-double for the guy who is averaging 1 on the season and 17-13 over his last 4 games. Fordham takes the floor. Rose, Cologne, Navarro, Charlton, Kelly, and Ohams, the 5 out of the Kyle Neptune huddle. Emery Lanier on the perimeter, blowing by Cologne Navarro. A swipe at the basketball, and Josh Cologne Navarro will pick up his first foul and Fordham's 3rd of the second half.
Completely unnecessary foul there for Fordham. Cologne Navarro just getting caught with his hands there. You have to be smarter and limit Davidson's ability to get in the bonus.
Lanier up top, Fordham in zone, the defense from Kelly. Brajkovic back to the basket. Lanier, the dump for Bochi Yedem. Screen right from Bochi Yedem. Stop at the free throw line. Lanier with 5 to shoot. The bounce, Bochi Yedem with 3. Lefty sky hook. Left short. Brajkovic has the follow off. The rim won't go. Brajkovic again with the ball batted around. Shovels it in. Luka Brajkovic getting it done on the outside and the interior. Davidson back in front by 10. 14.5 to go second half.
And I think there should have been a shot clock violation there, Nick. You see Fordham's coaches after they did reset the shot clock, furious on the sideline.
A foul away from the basketball. That an interesting possession because it appeared that Brajkovic was able to contact the rim with the basketball, but from underneath. A gray area in the rule book about whether it would have warranted a reset. And at home, Davidson gets the break. 4.5 minutes in. Fordham trailing by 10. The righty jump hook Ohams. It rolls out. Davidson the board. It's Lanier into the front court. Backing down. Straight away Brajkovic. Davidson has started 3 and 9 from the field in the second half. Bochi Yedem, the spin, righty roller. Right rim and off, and Ohams the right block rebound. That his 7th of the ball game. Ohams working on Bochi Yedem, left baseline drive, flipping it up underneath. It's left short. Ball falls to the floor, as does Ohams. There's a foul called on Bochi Yedem. Ohams a step slow to get up. working through it, and we'll head to the free throw line.
He's really taking a beating in this one, Nick. He keeps fading away from the basket. The body takes him to the ground. That time he aggressive, attacking the hole, but still hitting the floor.
Fordham with just 2 points in the last 8.5 minutes of game time. Oham sinks the first. Davidson 35, Fordham 26. Just over 6 minutes in, second half. Ohams flips up to second. It rolls in.
And we're 6+ minutes into the half, and Chuba Oham still the only Fordham Ram with points. That's clearly not sustainable over a long stretch of time.
Fordham with just 3 in the second half, approaching the 7-minute mark. The righty runner, Jones, center of the lane, rolls off. Fordham in transition. Ohams striding left to the paint, bowling over Brajkovic, and an offensive foul. The shoulder contact, Brajkovic falling to the floor in front of the baseline. Chuba Ohams couldn't believe it. Fordham turns it over. It's their 4th foul of the second half. Rastik-Novitsky will check in for the Rams. Paired in the front court with Ohams. Rose, Charlton, and Cologne Navarro fill out the 5. Bochi Edom across the midline, defended by Ohams. Has 2 fouls. Davidson attacking him. The bounce right block intended for Brajkovic was tipped out to the baseline. Fordham getting a hand on it. Davidson with 18 to shoot in the front court.
With how frustrating, this Fordham offense has been, you have to keep the same energy and intensity on the defensive end and not let this one get out of hand.
Inbound clutch by Brajkovic, curling around Lee. The left elbow jumper goes down. Young-Jun Lee, his first points of the second half. And Davidson with a 10-point lead, 37-27, approaching the 7-minute mark of the second half. Left arc Charlton directing traffic with the outstretched right arm. Left of the lane, Ohams, cross-court pass. Rose the bounce, Novitsky backing down Bochi Edom. 9 to shoot outside the restricted area. Lost the handle. Davidson possession. Brajkovic for Huffman. Jones the transition 3. Contact, left rim and off, but a foul called. Charlton late to close out. And Michael Jones, 3rd in the conference in 3-point shooting. A dangerous customer there. Will head to the free throw line for 3.
Davidson pushing the basketball there allows Charlton, who doesn't get back in time. He was late to the party. He got his hand up too late on the contest. A clear foul to go against him. And now one of the best free throw shooters in the conference gets a chance to hit 3.
Jones hits the first at 87% for the year. And has scored 6 points in this one with a pair of assists. Fordham with just 4 points in this second half. As Jones hits the second. Davidson 39, Fordham 27. Rastik-Novitsky will check out. Zach Riley returns. Fordham just 1 of their last 9 from the field as well. The third, too strong from Jones. Offensive board. Lee the triple straight on, in and out. Ohams rips away the underneath the basket rebound. Young-Jun Lee with an excellent opportunity to grow the Davidson lead. Couldn't hit it. Ohams attacking. Right of the lane surge. Flips it up. Off right rim, but a foul called. Chuba Ohams running the floor, striding to the basket. And a guy that Davidson did not see in the first matchup has proved tough on the inside.
We talked about him getting more aggressive in the second half. I think he has done a good job of really going to the basket. The issue is, Nick, no one else has stepped up. They haven't really brought the double the way they did in the first half, so that's not getting other guys open looks. And Ohams, he just can't do it all himself.
The first goes down for Ohams. Young-Jun Lee and Luka Brajkovic will head to the Davidson bench. Brajkovic picked up the foul. That his 3rd, so something to monitor for one of the best players on this Davidson roster. Ohams flips up the second, in and out. Jones, the center of the paint board. Fordham trailing by 11, 39-28. They've shot just 27% this afternoon. Shovel for Huffman. Shielded by Cologne Navarro. Huffman right of the lane, stops the left block kick. And they shovel in Sam Meninga off the feed from Huffman. The great vision and the easy deuce. Meninga with 7 points. And Davidson in front by 13. The right block lob in and out of the hands of Chuba Ohams. Jones the loose ball into the front court. It's a 6-1 Davidson run over the last 2 minutes. The stop, right block feed. Meninga going up. Possession knocked away out through the baseline. A foul called on Antrell Charlton will send us to another timeout. Davidson making a run on top, 41-28. 11:44 remaining in this one. Back to our Rose Hill studios. It's a one-on-one scoreboard with Nick Guzman.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Start in the world of A10 basketball, where Rhode Island got the better of Duquesne 70-54, and LaSalle leads Dayton 61-59 with under a minute to go. Later this afternoon, St. Bonaventure will take on St. Joseph's, and VCU will hit the road to take on UMass. In top 25 action, Michigan State topped number 4 Purdue 68-65 at home, with Tyson Walker hitting a game-winning 3 for the Spartans. West Virginia leads Texas 68-62, and Arkansas leads Kentucky 63-61. Both of those games are late in the second half. Later today, Syracuse will take on Duke, Auburn will clash with Tennessee, and Rutgers will host Wisconsin. Kansas will face Baylor at 8. St. Mary's takes on the number 1 team in the nation in Gonzaga, and USC will travel to Oregon in some Pac-12 action to cap off the day. In the NBA, the Celtics defeated the Pistons 113-104, and tonight the Nets travel to face the Bucks, the Hawks square off against the Raptors, and the Bulls host the Grizzlies. Over to the NHL, where the Oilers hung on to beat the Panthers 4-3, and the Capitals topped the Flyers 2-1. The Rangers and Penguins are currently scoreless at the first intermission, and the Islanders are on the West Coast later tonight to battle the Kings. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Nick Guzman.
Thanks, Nick. 11:44 to go from Davidson. The Wildcats 41, Fordham 28. And Davidson out to a 6-1 run over the last 2 minutes to grow the lead. Fordham has hung in there. They've done a decent job on the defensive end of the floor, but at some point are going to need some shots to go in. They have just 1 field goal in the second half, started 1 of 7 with 5 points.
And it is just Chuba Ohams who has scored for Fordham, and when you're Davidson, you can put all your attention on the big man. It does help things for them defensively. Fordham, coming into this half, I thought they were playing well that last 10-ish plus minutes of the first half, but something about the second half, the Davidson adjustment on defense, perhaps it's really stalled this offensive attack.
Fordham has struggled to get shots to fall. They've turned it over 12 times for an offense coming in. Winners 3 of their last 4, however, scoring just 58 points a game in that span. Have shot at just 3 of 17 from long range this afternoon. And over their last 7, shooting at just 26%. Sam Meninga will head to the free throw line. His first is good. Make it 8 points on the afternoon for the redshirt sophomore forward. Zach Riley will check out for Fordham with Antrell Charlton coming back in. Davidson in front by 14. It's their largest lead of the afternoon. Make it 15. As Meninga sinks the pair, 43-28, 11:40 and ticking second half. Fordham needs something to go offensively. The backdoor cut, Simbila off the feed from Ohams. Righty runner is strong. Charlton, the loose ball left arc. Far corner 3, Rose. Left rim and off. The weak side rebound for Emery Lanier. Rose was open, couldn't hit the shot. Jones transition 3 is good. Straight on Michael Jones over the defense from Charlton. Davidson extends the lead to 18. 46-28, right of the lane drive. The flip up Simbila rolls off right rim. A foul called, and Davidson will send Simbila to the free throw line to shoot 2. The Wildcats have 22 of the game's last 27 points.
You can only contain them for so long. As we've kind of kept alluding to, this offense for Fordham needed to bridge the gap somehow. They did not do this in the first 9 minutes of the second half, and you're seeing these last few possessions Davidson just looks a lot more comfortable on offense, whether the shots are falling or not. Michael Jones getting it going, drilling a second three, and with so many weapons they can go to in their arsenal, it's going to make this extremely tough for Fordham.
Simbila hits the first. He's got 3 points, a pair of rebounds this afternoon. Davidson has shot at 6 of 16 in the second half to Fordham's just 1 of 9. Simbila's second is good. The first 2 points not scored by Chuba Ohams. In this final frame, Fordham trails by 16. Emery Lanier, left arc feed for Huffman. Pulls it down, near corner pass, Lanier the three. Left rim off, and the weak side rebound. Rose falling to the floor. Simbila tangled up with Meninga, and Abdou Simbila will draw a loose ball foul. It's his third, and Fordham's 7th, to send Davidson to the free throw line in the single bonus with 10:50 to go in the game.
What makes that one of the most frustrating is Simbila had the inside. It wasn't like an over the back or anything like that, just bad body control from him as they both go to the ground. And now for Fordham to try to make up this gap while Davidson's in the bonus with 10-plus minutes, that's really hard to do.
Meninga sinks the free throw. Davidson 47, Fordham 30. 10:50 remaining in this one. Sam Meninga into double figures as he hits the second, now with 11. An 18-point Davidson advantage, their largest lead, as Fordham will stroll it across the midline. Antrell Charlton directing traffic. Had a career-high 10 assists against LaSalle, has just 1 this afternoon. Straightaway Rose between the legs dribble, looking for a roll straight on Charlton with 10 to shoot. Bounce for Simbila, A-10 stamp, possession ripped away. Lanier diving for it near side. Last touched by Davidson. Fordham keeps possession with 6 on the shot clock. The fans here at Belk Arena appreciate the effort from Lanier diving for the loose ball. The shot clock will reset. So Fordham with a fresh 20, which is 7 points in this second half on 1 of 9 from the field. Davidson outscoring them 20-7 over the last 10-plus minutes. The officials converging to discuss whether the shot clock should in fact be reset. They will agree that it should. So 20 to shoot for Fordham. Charlton will inbound from the near side. Contested by Huffman, the float, and Rose able to claim it in the backcourt. Across the midline with 15 to shoot. Kyle Rose roams right, straight on Charlton with 10 left on the shot clock. Between the legs dribble, left arc, Rose the hesitation, bounce, denied for Ohams, Jones the tip, and Lanier possession. Midway mark, second half. Davidson in front by 18. Meninga the spin, left block, off glass, in and out. Underneath the basket, rebound ripped away by Ohams, with Huffman reaching in to try and pry possession free. He'll pick up what'll be his 4th foul here in the second half. And Chuba Ohams into the front court will head to the free throw line, front end of the 1-and-1. That's the 17th foul for Davidson.
Really ill-advised play there from Huffman. Chuba Ohams had clear possession of the rebound, just being aggressive, letting this Davidson momentum kind of getting caught up in the moment there. Now Chuba Ohams has a chance to cut this one to 16 with 2 free throws coming up.
Huffman, the sophomore, playing a bigger role with Foster Lawyer out the last 3 games due to injury. Sending Ohams to the free throw line, the front end of the 1-and-1. Brick and off, center of the paint, rebound, ripped away and shoveled to Lee. Jones with a good box out. Drawing the backcourt double team between the legs dribble. Jones, the righty scoop layup, left off right rim. And the weak side rebound for Antrell Charlton. Fordham pushing, Kelly transition 3. Front rim and off, the rebound batted center of the paint. Ohams reaches for possession. And some arms in to try and get the basketball free for Davidson. It will draw another foul, and Chuba Ohams right back to the free throw line with The pace being picked up significantly. Two teams seemingly rushing into the front court, and Oham's able to slow it down heading to the free throw line.
And that's not how Fordham wants to play, Nick. So these last two possessions, while things have really ramped up here, they want to slow it down. They want to grind you out. But the issue is, to counter that, you're down 18, less than 10 minutes left. So you have to find some way to get a spark plug.
Davidson 48, Fordham 30, 9:27. Remaining second half. Oham sinks the front end of the 1-and-1. Emery Lanier guilty of the reach-in foul. It was his first, and Davidson's 8th of the second half. Eyeing up the goal, Oham's, the righty Rainbow from the free throw line goes down. Chuba Oham's with another double-double, make it 5 in a row, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Davidson into the front court with a 16-point lead, 9:20 to go second half. Meninga near side, back to the basket, center of the paint pass, intercepted. Oham striding across the midline. Left block dump, bowling over the defense from Lanier, and it's an offensive foul. Chuba Oham's rumbling into the front court. Lanier hitting the deck. It's Oham's third. And Davidson with possession.
That's what I was talking about, Nick. That's not Fordham's offense. Chuba Oham's running it in transition there. So they have to be a lot more careful and do what they want to do completely.
Meninga up and under through the contact and gets it to fall. Oham's poking at the basketball, picks up his fourth. And Sam Meninga with a big-time shot to extend the Davidson lead to their largest of 18. That a massive bucket to send Oham's to the bench with 4.
And the snap of your fingers, he's now at 4 fouls, right? That happened really quick for Fordham, so now with him in foul trouble, this half has been impossible to find scoring outside of him. Now you just have to figure it out somewhat.
Meninga to 12 points, and Davidson in front 51-32. Final 9 minutes to go in this one. Hip pocket possession, Charlton straight away. Kelly, right arc 3. Right rim off, weak side rebound, batted and boxed for by Meninga. Lee into the front court, his dump Lanier, righty runner, off glass and good. Davidson continuing to put the pressure on. It's a 21-point lead. Left elbow, twirling Colon Navarro, shoved to the deck, a Davidson foul. And Josh Colon Navarro will head to the free throw line with Davidson in front 53-31, 8:33 remaining in this one.
And this ramp up of the pace that we've been talking about has finally caught up to Fordham. Davidson on the offensive end is now really doing exactly what they want to do as they open up the second half.
Fordham has shot at just 24% from the field today as Colon Navarro rolls in the first free throw. They have just one field goal at the 8.5-minute mark of the second half. Chuba Oham's on the bench with 4 fouls. He's got a game-high 15. The second one off front rim, Colon Navarro. Davidson the board into the front court. In front by 20. 53-33. 8:20 to go, second half. Brajkovic, the left elbow handoff. Jones hesitation dribble. Lanier right of the lane drive. Right block, double team comes. Lanier, the righty runner, off glass rolls out. Right block rebound, Pat Kelly. Pushing into the front court, Zach Riley backs off. Right arc for Josh Colon Navarro. Defense from Jones. His pass intercepted on the perimeter. Lee into the front court, Davidson. Straightaway pass, Jones the dump off. Brajkovic, the baseline drive. Clamped by Kelly, a foul as he couldn't get the shot away, sending us to another timeout. Davidson outscoring Fordham 25-10 in the second half. On top by 20, 53-33, 7:45 remaining. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey folks, this is Thomas Aiello
with Ryan Gregware,
and we're your main hosts for WFUV Sports' new college basketball podcast, Storm the Court.
We'll talk about the top 25 rankings, some of the big games from the week before, and preview the slates ahead.
We also talk Fordham basketball, both men's and women's, so don't be afraid to listen to that as well.
Tyler Hu and Danny Scott also join the show as recurring hosts.
So make sure to tune in to Storm the Court, a production of WFUV Sports. This is the road to March.
A nightmarish second half has seen Davidson outscore Fordham 25-10. The Rams have just one field goal at the 7:45 mark in the second frame, shooting at 24% on the afternoon. And Davidson out to a 20-point lead, 53-33. And Ryan Gregware with Chuba Ohams in foul trouble, sitting with the 4. Fordham has yet to find an answer, with someone else needing to step up scoring the basketball.
Yeah, and with him, him being in foul trouble, it just hurts the entire ability to run your offense through him. He's probably not going to be on the court a ton. You're going to need Josh Navarro to bring it up. Antrell Charlton, you look at the last game, 10 assists. He's at just 1 in this game. So you need to play team basketball, move it as much as you can, get guys the open catch and shoot 3. But overall, Nick, I think in this second half, you look at the way it's gone. Fordham tried to push the pace way too much for their style of comfort, the way they played all year, and that's what's really fit them.
This is a Davidson team whose NCAA tournament hopes are alive and well, and it may not rest on an A-10 tournament title. The foul called on Patrick Kelly, sending Brankovic to the free throw line. His first goes down. Davidson are the best positioned team in the conference to secure an at-large bid, should it come to that. NCAA Net ranks them 48th. Ken Palm has them 54th nationally. ESPN's Joe Lenardi has Davidson as an 11 seed in his latest bracket projection. The second free throw off from Brankovic. Fordham into the front court, trailing by 21, 54-33. Right block Simbilla, the shoulder, sending Jones to the floor, and an offensive foul. Simbilla getting the bucket to go off the glass. Jones hurting for the turnover as Fordham gives it away for a 15th time. That's the 4th foul on Abdou Simbilla.
And they have 5 guys with 3+ fouls in this one, so the foul trouble, a huge theme in this one that's allowed Fordham to struggle so much in this half.
Straight on 3, Brankovic grazes off front rim, right block rebound Charlton. His pass in transition, near sideline, ripped away by Lee. A 16th Fordham turnover. Jones a foot in front of the midline stripe, screen left Meninga. Left arc possession Lanier, waist tie, straight away Brankovic. Davidson in front by 21. Lee, the straight on 3, goes down, plus the foul. Lee curling around the screen. The contact coming on the reach. And Lee with a chance to make it a 4-point play. And now they'll take it all back. The foul called on the screen. Lanier curling around. Now the officials are going to take the basketball just to make sure. So they'll call the Lee 3 good, but the foul will be away from the basketball. So the bucket will count and send Lanier to the free throw line. His first is too strong. So the continuation is good. And Davidson out in front by 24, 57-33 at the 7-minute mark of the second half. Lanier 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. It's a 25-point lead, 58-33. Right arc Cologne Navarro. Waist time possession, left arc Charlton. Closed off by Jones. Stops out of the key, left arc 3 rows. Right block rebound as it grazes off the front of the rim by Lanier.
And that's all you can ask for if you're Fordham. Kyle Rose, an open catch-and-shoot three, just unable to get it to go.
Left arc three, Brankovic rolls off. Left block rebound for Antro Charlton. Fordham with the basketball, trailing by 25. 6.5 minutes remaining. Kelly in and out of his hands, open from the near side. It's out to the baseline. Fordham turns it over yet again, make it an 18th giveaway.
And these floodgates have really opened up in this second half. These kind of possessions by Fordham, wide open is Pat Kelly, just dropping the basketball, forgetting the shot clock, pushing it when you shouldn't. They've really played, undisciplined basketball for the first time I can recall all season.
Fordham making a substitution. Josh Colon-Navarro comes off. Albie Evans will check in. And the walk-on to get some minutes here as Kyle Rose is pulled off the floor as well. Zach Riley, Pat Kelly, and Antro Charlton with Abdou Simbila on the floor. Final 6:27 with Fordham trailing 58-33. Across the midline, Jones, badgered by Charlton. Left arc, directing traffic. Jones has 10 points this afternoon. Lanier, right arc. Tight defense by Evans, and a foul called. Sending Lanier to the free throw line.
And not that you can't spin this in a positive direction if you're Fordham, but one thing we haven't seen with all these tight games Fordham has played is they haven't emptied their bench truly to the amount that they've done so today. So you see what you have, deep down in the roster in a game that's out of reach.
Lanier's first off back heel and out. Pat Kelly will check out with Kyle Rose coming back in. The final 6:11 of the second half. Fordham trailing by 25, make it 26 as Lanier sinks the second. 59-33. Fordham still with just one field goal in the second half. Antro Charlton strolling across the midline. Simbila up top with the screen left, drawing the straightaway double team. Left arc three, Charlton misses everything. Short on the baseline. Underneath the basket, loose ball from Meninga. Fordham scoreless and approaching 3 minutes. Davidson with 13 of the game's last 16 points. Charlton the intercept, left of the lane drive into the front court and lays it in off the glass. Antro Charlton breaking the Fordham scoreless drought. And the Rams trail 59-35, 5.5 minutes to go. Shoulder shake, Brankovic creating the space. The righty flip up goes down. DeLuca Brankovic to a Davidson high 15 points. And the Wildcats a 61-35 lead. Riley for Evans, the bounce near corner. Rose between the legs dribble, guarded by Huffman. Left baseline. Falling to the floor, and an offensive foul called as Huffman drew the contact and hit the deck, and Fordham turns it over again.
The overall body control from Davidson throughout this one, taking numerous charges there. It's one of the reasons Fordham's been in foul trouble, and it's why this defense has been so successful for the Wildcats.
Shuba Ohams, Rastik Nowitzki, Kyle Rose, with Josh Colon-Navarro and Zach Riley, the five on the floor for Fordham. Across the midline, Sam Meninga. Worth paying attention to, of course, in the final 5 minutes with Fordham trailing 61-35. They have a quick turnaround playing on Monday against UMass. That likely part of the thinking for Kyle Neptune to get some players some rest. Jones up and under on the left of the lane drive, in off the glass. Has 12 points this afternoon, and Davidson stretches the lead 63-35, 4.5 minutes remaining.
And you talk about that game Monday, it's 3 games in the next 7 days. So for Fordham, being at your best, being well rested is going to be key during this stretch.
Right arc for Rastik Nowitzki, straightaway Rose, badgered by Lee. Far corner Ohams, his cross-court pass over the head of Riley. Fordham turns it over again, at 20 on the afternoon. Emery Lanier, Youngjun Lee will head to the Fordham bench, as will Michael Jones. As Bob McKillop, with that same rest in mind, will allow his starters to take the rest of the afternoon off after building a 28-point lead, 63-35 35. 4:15 remaining. Far corner kick. Lanier juggles out through the baseline. Last touched by Davidson. Fordham with possession.
And for Davidson, a team that's already clinched the double bye in the A10 tournament, rest is key and health is key because, you look at these two teams, they're in different directions as program. Davidson has their eyes set on March, and to get to March, you need to stay healthy.
This a Fordham offense that has struggled in this second half. Right arc three Rose, right rim and off. Weak side rebound, have just 2 field goals in this second frame. Have been outscored 35-12 by Davidson. Right arc, Watson, straightaway Bochi Yeadham with 10 to shoot. Meninga right block, backing down Nowitzki with 7 and 6. Lanier plays catch, Meninga with 4. The stop, lefty hook, drawing the contact, plus the foul, gets it to roll in. Sam Meninga to 16 points this afternoon. And with Fordham focused elsewhere, he's made the Rams pay today. 65-35. It's a 30-point Davidson lead. 3:39 remaining. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Nick Guzman.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In A10 basketball action, Rhode Island topped Duquesne 70-54, and LaSalle got a huge home win over Dayton 62-60. Later this afternoon, St. Bonaventure will take on St. Joseph's, and VCU will hit the road to take on UMass. Elsewhere on the college hardwood, Michigan State topped number 4 Purdue 68-65 at home, thanks to a game-winning 3 from Tyson Walker. Arkansas topped Kentucky 75-73. Texas leads West Virginia 82-78 late in the second half, and Tennessee leads Auburn 12-11 early in the first. Later today, Syracuse will take on Duke, and Rutgers will host Wisconsin. Kansas will face Baylor at 8. St. Mary's takes on number 1 Gonzaga, and Oregon will host USC to cap off the day. Over to the NBA, where the Celtics defeated the Pistons 113-104. Tonight, the Nets travel to face the Bucks, the Hawks square off against the Raptors, and the Bulls host the Grizzlies. In the NHL, the Oilers bested Florida 4-3, and the Capitals topped the Flyers 2-1. The Rangers and Penguins are scoreless in the second period, and the Islanders are out in Cali tonight for a battle with the Kings. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Nick Guzman.
Thanks, Nick. Final 3:39 from Davidson, and the Wildcats in front by 30. 65-35, outscoring Fordham 37-12 in the second half. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew. Appreciate you sticking with us this afternoon. Fordham has just been flat out outplayed in this second half, have not been able to find anything offensively. Chuba Oham's into foul trouble, and now about closing out this game with something to build on for Monday.
It hasn't been competitive basketball. This last, 17-plus minutes has not been this full 40-minute effort that this team always talks about. You talk about it, you have to kind of just get it out of your mind. This last 4 minutes play tough. I expect the team, they'll come out, they'll hustle, they'll do what they need to do and try to get out of here feeling some type of confidence.
Josh Colon-Navarro, Albie Evans, Zach Riley, Rastik Nowitzki, and Pat Kelly will take the floor out of the timeout for Fordham. And Davidson in front by 30 will send Sam Meninga to the free throw line after nailing the and one flip up. He gets the free throw to fall and will check out as he gets a well-deserved ovation from this Belk Arena crowd. Davidson by 31, 66-35, 3.5 minutes to go. Riley catch and shoot, left arc 3, back heel and off. Nowitzki tips the center of the paint rebound. Bochi Yeadham clamps it. Davidson into the front court. Left arc Lanier. Been valuable off the bench today with 8 points. No look past Bochi Yeadham. Lanier left baseline with 15 to shoot. Curling around his pass, backing down. Christensen, who's checked in. Lanier left arc 3. Right rim and off. Nowitzki, the near corner rebound, bounce for Albie Evans. Feed into the front court. Josh Colon-Navarro, final 2:50 of this one. Fordham down by 31. Right arc 3. Back heel off. Colon-Navarro can't hit it. And a soar for the right block rebound, Desmond Watson. Christensen into the front court, back out, left arc three. Watson off back heel and out through the baseline. Fordham with possession. And after Watson couldn't hit the shot from long range.
And you mentioned Josh Colon-Navarro missing that three last possession. A rare off game for him, 1 for 8. He's been averaging, 12.5 points since that Davidson game. One of the big reasons they've struggled here today.
Near corner, Evans in and out of his hands and out through the sideline. Fordham turns it over for a 21st time this afternoon. This Davidson defense that has been so good this season, perhaps the under-talked about aspect of what makes the Wildcats so good, has really given Fordham trouble today. Kochi Edom across the midline, head-high possession for Threstarson. Back and forth on the pass, the right baseline drive, and Sturmir Threstarson, the freshman from Iceland, who's played just 34 total minutes this season, will head to the free throw line after the bump by Colon-Navarro. Second on Colon-Navarro, Thrastarson's first, back heel and off. 2:12 to go second half, Davidson 66, Fordham 35. Fordham trailed by 5 at the half. Threstarson in and out on the second. Davidson outscoring Fordham 38-12 in the second half. The Rams 2 of 17 from the field. Riley, the baseline drive, count it, and the foul. Through the contact, Zach Riley in the scoring column today. It's the third. For Emery Lanier, and the 10th for Davidson in this second half. Sending Riley to the free throw line. Fordham down 66-37, 2:03 to go.
And a nice move there by Riley, someone that we've seen play in spurts throughout the year. He's played significant minutes as of late. He's someone you look as a true freshman, could really emerge later in his Fordham career.
Riley sinks the free throw. Emery Lanier gets his ovation. Senior Drew Dibble is checked in for Davidson. Left arc, Threstarson, the three. Right rim off. Evans clears for the right block rebound. 1:50 to go. Fordham down by 28. Back to the basket, Evans. Left arc, Riley. Left baseline bounce, Nowitzki backing down. Threstarson the defense. Nowitzki clearing. Lefty hook is strong, but a foul called underneath. As David Christensen, the junior from Denmark, will pick up the first. And Rastik Nowitzki will go to the free throw line, shooting a couple in the final 1:38.
Nowitzki, just 6 minutes played in this one, played his career high in minutes lost him out versus Davidson with 19. Now, a lot of that has to do with Chuba Oams being out, Abdou Simbila being in foul trouble, but he's someone that Coach Neptune thinks has really improved throughout the season.
Ben Craig and Michael Katstock, senior and freshman, coming in for Davidson. The final 1:38. Nowitzki nails the free throw, and Fordham trails by 26, 66-40. 1:30 to go in the second half. Over the head pass, left arc, Katstock the three. Right rim and off. Nowitzki the right block rebound. Katstock, the freshman, 9 total minutes this year. Open, couldn't hit the three. Left elbow stop, Nowitzki. Straight away, Evans, right arc three. Is good! Albie Evans drains the three. And Fordham trims the lead 66-43. 65 seconds remaining. Albie Evans with his first points of the season. Stop A-10 stamp, righty baseline drive, and a travel called. Threstarson, the freshman, turns it over.
Albie Evans, the walk-on, drilling the three there. Then Fordham bringing the tough defense. They don't quit for 40 minutes. That's one thing you can say throughout the year.
The sophomore walk-on. Colon-Navarro, right arc three, Riley. Right rim off, weak side rebound out through the baseline. And Davidson with possession in the final 50.5 seconds. That will send Fordham to 13 and 14 and 6 and 9 in Atlantic 10 play. Right arc Thrastarson. Far corner 3 catch and shoot. Left rim off from Katzak. Nowitzki, the underneath the basket rebound. Dribbles it into the front court. Evans around a screen. Cologne Navarro. Extra pass. Riley to 3. Back heel and off. Tipped up by Nowitzki, who's got it on the perimeter. Straight on Evans. The 3 again. Back heel and off. Batted around. Another possession for Fordham. Left arc 3. Cologne Navarro. Left rim off. Bowled over. And a foul in the act of shooting. Thrastarson closing out hard. And Cologne Navarro hitting the deck. Now that Fordham does not have the most depth, but not something that you want to see. One of your key pieces shooting the basketball taking a tumble like that in the final 15 seconds of a game that's well decided.
It's the last thing you want to see if you're Fordham, but do they have another choice? And to bring him into this game, Nick, you're down a few players regardless because of injury. 4 guys with 4+ fouls. You're kind of going to whoever can play right now.
Cologne Navarro off the mark on the first, hits the second. Fordham trailing as Cologne Navarro hits the third by a margin of 66-45. Riley the steal near corner. Cologne Navarro the left block double team. Evans with 9 on the game clock. Nowitzki straight away. Left arc 3 Cologne Navarro. Off right rim and out. And the right block rebound Thrastarson across the midline and will dribble it out. Davidson with a dominant second half as the A-10's top team improves to 14-2 in conference play this season. 66-45 the final from Belk Arena. The one-on-one post-game report up next. Stay tuned here on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Davidson 66, Fordham 45. The final this afternoon. As we welcome you inside the one-on-one post-game report. Fordham with an ugly second half, one that saw them outscored 38-22. Made just 4 field goals on 23 attempts, and after not shooting well for spurts in the first half, they were able to steady themselves not so much in the second half.
Yeah, it's fair to say that's one of the worst halves of basketball that Fordham has played this entire season. Not able to do anything offensively. You look at the numbers, 17% from the field, just 1 for 15 from 3. When you're going against a team that's quite literally 6th in the nation in three-point percentage, it's going to be nearly impossible to overcome that.
The game certainly took a turn for the worst when Chuba Ohams, who scored a Fordham-high 15 points on 4 of 11 from the field today, picked up a couple of quick fouls, sending him to the bench. And then at that point, Fordham just not much of anything to do offensively.
And it's certainly fair to look at that, but you go before that, Chuba Ohams, during that first 9 minutes of the second half, he was the only Ram with a basket. So obviously not having him in crunch time there opened up this game, made it a lot uglier. But for Fordham, I think the issues go deeper than that because they really could not get anyone else to be consistent scorer of the basketball.
And for a team that predicates itself playing such good defense on the season, as we mentioned it off the jump, up to 54th in the country in defensive efficiency. Hard to play solid defense when you shoot just 24%. It allows Davidson, who's so good at it, to get out and run.
And when you turn the ball over 21 times, it makes it even harder. That's an aspect we didn't touch on a ton, but Fordham was very uncharacteristically sloppy with the basketball, errant passes, off-ball fouls. They gave Davidson a ton of chances to break it open, and you have to give credit to the Wildcats because they did just that.
For a Fordham team that has continued to fight, feel like they've got a chance in every game that they play. This is a tough result on the road at Davidson. 66-45 the final. Ryan Gregware, I'll give you the final word. Fordham headed into 3 games in 7 days, starting on Monday against UMass.
You need to have the shortest memory possible. You know, it's only a one-day turnaround, but you need to throw this game out there on the road versus a tournament team. There's a lot of reasons you guys struggled in this one. They have to figure out a way, Nick, just really put this in the past and focus on these 3 games. They've done a good job of that when it's come with success, right? You think about the 2-0 start in conference play. They threw that away. Big wins throughout the year. It's all about the next game. They need to stay to that mentality and focus on the next one.
That will wrap it up for us from Belk Arena. Once again, the final score, Davidson 66, Fordham 45. The one-on-one post-game report continues from our Rose Hill studios with Thomas Aiello.
Thank you so much, Nick. And you must have thought, oh, you thought I was leaving? No. I am getting the final say on this game. As Nick and Ryan said, Fordham loses 66-45 out in Davidson at the house that Curry built. And the second half, just not good slash numbers across the board from their shooting. Fordham shooting 4 of 23 from the field in half number 2, 17%, 1 of 15 from the 3, which is 6.7%. They did go 13 of 17 from the line, so 77% there. So kudos to that. But towards the end of the game, it was 2 things, turnovers and fouls. Fordham as a team committed 26 personal fouls, and they had 3 players with 4 fouls and 21 turnovers. Chuba Ohams with 6, Kyle Rose with 5. So that, of course, does not help matters. But if there's a couple bright spots we can pull out from this game, number 1, Chuba Ohams with his 17th double-double on the season, 2 away from tying the single-season school record, once again set by Chris Gaston, who had 19. And the second one is Albie Evans got in the game and hit a 3-point shot. So kudos to Albie for having himself a moment today. And the Fordham bench, I was watching the stream here on my computer, was pumped for that. But Davidson woke up in the second half with Menenga erupting for 17, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. But that is just about going to do it for us here from our Rose Hill studios for our broadcast of Fordham men's basketball. Once again, the final score, Davidson 66, Fordham 45. The sports director of WFUV Sports is Vavi Chaffardini. The guys on call tonight were Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware. Thomas Quigley, our on-site producer. Nick Guzman here in the studio with me on the updates. Alex Wolz, our great producer, and Brian Raybacks on the highlights. From yours truly, me, Thomas Aiello, we say so long from the Rose Hill studios, and thank you for listening to Fordham men's basketball here on WFUV. Fordham men's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports.